some requests to separate the cures from the rest of the video here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And we'll go where it starts. By the way, so I go, let me say one more thing. So I go right. So part of the introduction. If you guys want to see the introduction, just check out the show. The diamagnetic semi 4. I know when it starts. There's going to be things like, it can't. There's going to be, you know what, might not be the best example. There's going to be these little ones that, let me see, so if you want to know the secret, 567-6977. Let's do it. By the way, 567-6977. Right? So, what do you got? And a lot of people have done this. This isn't anything breaking. It's probably new to a lot of you. It was new to me. I think it was. I'm pretty sure I came across it at one point, and I just kind of thought, like, yeah, right. But no, it's a real patent. Real patent. And I started digging. You know what? All the digging I did was on my phone, of course. My phone, which I have right here. So, how's that for you guys? Yeah. The diamagnetic semiconducting molecular crystal Tetrasilver Tetroxide. And you see the molecular structure there, Ag, I believe that's argon. So 4 of argon, 4 of oxygen is utilized for destroying the AIDS virus, destroying AIDS, synergistic pathogens, and immunity suppressing. I've never seen that word. Muay Thai's, ISM, in humans. A single intravenous injection of the device is all that is required for efficiency at levels of about 40 ppm of human blood. The device molecular crystal contains trivalent silver ions capable of firing electrons, capable of electrocuting the AIDS virus. Now, once I saw that, I started thinking of CERN. And I thought, well, what if CERN took this and really broke this down, started smashing it together with their LHC. So, let's see, wait a minute. And then I also was thinking, what about, now we have CRISPR, which can remove certain genes and, remove and replace genes and things like that. So I started wondering about that as well. When administered to the bloodstream, the device electrons will be triggered by pathogens, a proliferating the virus and ISM, and if fired will simultaneously trigger a redox chelation mechanism resulting in divalent silver. There it is again, Muay Thai's. I don't know what that was, which can bind active sites of the entities, destroying them. The devices are completely non-toxic. However, they put stress on the liver. Exactly, that's what I'm going to tell you guys about. Causing hepatology, but there is no loss of liver function. So, when I started, right away, I started looking at the arguments against this treatment. And basically what it came down to was exactly that, and we're talking about people who are at the stage of what they call it wasting. basically like wasting away. And people even in that state, 2 out of 4 got better. The other 2, maybe they were just too far along to be helped. But this is something that's been debated, and then all of a sudden it kind of disappeared. It's kind of funny that they decided, you know what, it's safer to just use a combination of medications, and there's no liability that way. That's one reason. The bigger reason being, if you have big pharma, do you want them to be able to give them a shot that fires electrons? And it's been proven. Not one person can say that it doesn't kill the HIV. That is not disputed. Not one paper I read says that it doesn't kill the HIV. It kills it. But they're worried about, okay, it kills it, but it can cause other problems. And usually it's the liver. But like I said, there is no loss of liver function. Now this is back in the 90s. And now in 2020, if you don't think that they found a way to make this, like I said, it's completely non-toxic. It's just the firing of the electrons. Everything's filtered through your liver. Your drink, the drugs, it all goes through your liver. So, it does affect the liver, but it doesn't cause loss of liver function. You're not going to die right there. So I can see why they'd be maybe worried about some liability causing hepatology.
But what's up?
Oh, you can't see it, or you're not live.
I'm not live?
Well, you are, but your audio is like really bad. Like we can hear you, but it's like you sound like you have emphysema.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know because somebody's leaving because of it.
Yeah, I don't know why it would do that though.
I don't know if it's like the mic or like if it's I don't know if it's.
Yeah, it's not a mic. It's just from the phone. But usually it's not like that when I do it from the phone.
Right. So sometimes if you have like headphones or anything plugged in and they're not plugged in all the way, but if that's not the case, then who knows
No,
why?
that's not the case. No headphones, nothing. I just let it sit so that people could watch it because people requested because that video was so long to kind of the solstice is over so I could put out this video.
So they just jacked.
And then as far as the end of the video, we go over all the decode. I'm gonna be using that, except I'm gonna be adding to it in a video later. So I just figured I'd get this video done early, have that on record, where it's just about the cures from the Tetrasilver. But all right, so
They're messing with you.
yeah, they're messing with it. I mean, they don't want this information out there.
Yeah, of course not. No, they don't want any cures out there.
I mean, the thing is, it wasn't in the title in the original video, and look, it says, oh, they changed it now. It does say 3 days ago. Before it said 2 weeks ago, which is really weird. Let me see. So yeah, so I don't know what to do.
Now let's see exactly what we're doing. I mean, if you have HIV, wouldn't you just be like, yeah, go ahead,
At least I'll
I'm not
have it on
gonna
record
lose
at
liver
least.
function.
If I have to redo it, I
let's
will.
see exactly
If I
what
can figure something out, but I think I'm just to it and I didn't mean to hang up on you, Brandy. Didn't mean to hang up on you.
Okay. Abnormal enlargement of the liver. So the device electrons will be triggered by pathogens, a proliferating virus, and ISM. And when fired, will simultaneously trigger the black population. Got it. And I was worried that maybe it was like, because we all know it was made in a lab. this was made in the lab, as was AIDS. All right, the way AIDS, you know what it does? It gets in, and then it replicates all the healthy cells. It replicates, and damages all these cells. But there's a way to fight it. And that's what I'm about to show you guys. And there's a way, and they've known it for a long time. So here we go. So want to know a secret? All right, so this is nothing new.
I mean, it is a secondary. Let me try just starting it again. Like starting from YouTube. This is gonna get people to want to do it anyways. All right.
See, there's gonna be things like, it can't. There's gonna be, you know what? Might not be the best example. There's gonna be these little ones that.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna let this play through. I'll check it out.
If you want to know a secret, 567-6977.
All right, so it's starting over.
Let's do it. 567-6977. Right? So this is what you get. And a lot of people have done this. This isn't anything breaking. It's probably new to a lot of you. It was new to me. I think it was. I'm pretty sure I came across it at one point, and I just kind of thought, like, yeah, right. But no, it's a real patent. Real patent. And I started digging. You know what? All the digging I did was on my phone, of course. On my phone, which I have right here. So, no, is that for you guys? Yeah. The diamagnetic semiconducting molecular crystal Tetrasilver Tetroxide.
That might help.
And you see the molecular structure there. Ag, I believe that's argon. So 4 of argon, 4 of oxygen, is utilized for destroying the AIDS virus, destroying AIDS, synergistic pathogens, and immunity suppressing 40 ppm of executing the AIDS virus. Now, once I saw that, I started thinking of CERN. And I thought, what if CERN took this and really broke this down, started smashing it together with the LHC. So, let's see, wait a minute. And then I also was thinking, what about, now we have CRISPR, which can remove certain genes and, remove and replace
so I put the
genes and things like that.
On top of the video.
So I started wondering about that as well.
I tried
by pathogens, a proliferating virus, and ISM. And the fire will simultaneously trigger there it is again. Mai Tais. I don't know what the hell that is. Which chelate and bind active sites of the entities, destroying them. The devices are completely non-toxic. However, they put stress on the liver. Exactly, that's what I'm going to tell you guys about. Causing hepatology. But there is no loss of liver function. So when right away, I started looking at the arguments against this treatment. And basically what it came down to was exactly that and we're talking about people who are at the stage of what they call it wasting. Basically they're like wasting away. And people even in that state, 2 out of 4 got better. The other 2, maybe they were just too far along to be helped. But this is something that's been debated, and then all of a sudden it kind of disappeared. It's kind of funny how they decided, you know what? It's safer to just use a combination of medications, and there's no liability that way. That's one reason. The bigger reason being, if you're a big pharma, do you want them to be able to give them a shot that fires electrons? And it's been proven. Not one person can say that it doesn't kill the HIV. That is not disputed. Not one paper I read says that it doesn't kill the HIV. It kills it. But they're worried about, okay, it kills it, but it can cause other problems. And usually it's the liver. But like it says, there is no loss of liver function. Now this is back in the 90s. And now in 2020, if you don't think that they found a way to make this, like it said, it's completely non-toxic. It's just the firing of the electrons, everything's filtered through your liver. You're a drinker, or the drugs, it all goes through your liver. So, it does affect the liver, but it doesn't cause loss of liver function. You're not going to die right there. So I can see why they'd be maybe worried about some liability, causing hepatology. Now let's see exactly what we're doing. I mean, if you have HIV, wouldn't you just be like, yeah, go ahead, I'm not gonna lose liver function. I'm gonna have, let's see exactly what we're looking at. Abnormal enlargement of the liver. So your HIV will be gone, but you'll have an enlargement of the liver. Can it be cured? It depends upon the underlying disorders that cause your liver enlargement. Some of the treatments will recommend may include medications, treatment. It's always medication. Listen, now that they have CRISPR, now that they have things like CERN where they're smashing these particles together, they have cures for all of this. So I did all my research on the phone. So I'm just going to pull something up, and I'll put it right on the screen. It's unbelievable. It really is. And this pisses me off personally because I feel for these people with HIV. And people, and who the number one HIV researcher is, Dr. Lying Fauci. I mean, we exposed him as soon as he came out. As soon as he came out of the gate, we had the dirt on him. You just go back, you can watch that video. Actually, I've done a few videos on him. Yeah, you can check him out. He's the one that has the patent for the glycoprotein 120, which is the spike protein, which is when you look at the coronavirus, you see the spikes in it. That's what makes it attach and makes it spread so easy, because basically those spikes go right into the cell and infect the cells. And they are a 100% replica of the glycoprotein GP120 in HIV. 100% replica. When you look at the RNA and they print it all out, 100% replica. But it's natural. It came from a bat. Neither the virus going around now or AIDS was natural, in my opinion. I mean, I want to say for sure, for fact, but I'll stick to in my opinion. But I've been doing a lot of research on this stuff. So, okay, so check this out. Oh, what's this? We were talking about HIV, correct? Well, usually when you have something that is amazing, like this. It could just, I mean, like I said, there's no debate that it doesn't kill the HIV. It kills the HIV.
I should be saying AIDS.
Well, maybe it works on other things, right?
The study was on
Well,
AIDS.
let's read.
So we're talking
So they did
way
a study.
past HIV.
Conclusions.
Check this out.
Of the
Not just
IV,
AIDS, but
the intravenous, into your bloodstream. They would, put it into your bloodstream. Tetrasilver tetroxide study. Tetrasilver tetroxide is preferably delivered in an IV solution to inhibit undesirable side effects. Tetrasilver tetroxide administered by IV. So not only does it kill HIV, but when they used it in a test for breast cancer, and it, boom, it keeps growing, and you go through different stages, and I mean, basically all of us know somebody who's been affected by that. Amanda, can you give me my charger? The computer's about to die during the stream. It's right there in the wall.
Charger. Still horrible? It got clear. Alright, so what I did made it get clear. Alright, good.
I don't want this to die. Please, Amanda. But tetroxide. That's not it. You got Amanda. Because it's like about to die. So can you guys believe that? So let me repeat that. Tetrasilver tetroxide administered by IV appears to stop the growth of the breast cancer. Now, this isn't like some study where they're, just like trying to prove something, or they have some patents that they want to make sure are involved so that they can make money, like Fauci. That's what he's all about. That's what Fauci's all about. That's what Redfield's all about. And they were the leading researchers. Redfield was supposed to come up with the HIV vaccine back in '93. If you guys go back and watch my old stream, you'll see that, and I lay it all out for you guys. And he got caught, basically favoring the GP 160 as a way of stopping.
So it won't happen on YouTube.
Alright, I'm just gonna plug in a charger real quick. Yeah, and this is I can show you guys all of this. It's just I've done whole videos on it.
Well,
so
you can see the video.
And it's in the title. But so you guys can check those out.
By the way, that's just the number. This is the studies. That's the number to the patent. This is the actual studies. There's a lot of patents out there that don't end up working. This is the actual studies that show it works.
But basically, I'll just repeat it a little bit. So, he back in the day, that's what he did. And he would try to do all these studies, and they weren't working. And he was reporting false results. He got in trouble with the Army. But you know what happens with all these people? Same thing as Fauci. He got in trouble, too, for doing what they call parallel track testing, where, the FDA or the CDC, they kind of go about things slow. Now, lately, cutting some red tape, Trump's got things to move fast. Now, I'm in no rush to see a vaccine for this. I don't think that we need one. You know, I'd rather see a treat. This is one of the cases where I'd rather see a treatment because I'm worried about, you know, the biometric. We've already gone over it, but it's not going. They know that everyone's so worried about the shot. But you gotta understand, it's gonna probably be a transdermal patch, not to get off point, but a patch that they put on you that dissolves, and then there'll be quantum dots. This is all I've gone through all of the literature, and you can see that in past videos as well. And these quantum dots um, they can with 5G or whatever the communication system is. It could be, it doesn't have to be 5G. It can be anything. But you know, with that, I shouldn't even say that word. But yeah, it communicates with that. It basically it transmits up, and as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it sends you cryptocurrency. So they already got all the patents. You know, it's in the patents that you find what the plans are for the future. You know, they already have patents for these like radar guns that can scan you and tell if you got a vaccine. Well, why would they do that? Well, kind of gives you a peek of the future. And it's worrisome. I mean, it's like why would they need that? And how would they know? Well, one, you have the quantum dot. Two, when the actual from the trend when it dissolves into you, that's the drug or the VX, you know, VX, that'll go right into, and it will have nano, probably most likely, they've been trying out different ways, like, it seems like right now silver seems to be, the best, it's also the best thing to take for certain things. I keep on hearing people talking about taking silver. I'm too worried to take it because it's also involved with the nano technology, silver nanotechnology. So it's getting to the point where we're talking about things that you can't even see with your eyes, but they will affect everything. But I just want to make a point here. This is the point I'm trying to make, that this cures. And if anyone ends up in this situation and knows somebody, don't feel like a conspiracy theorist to ask. Well, doctor, do you have any opinion on like Tetrasilver Tetroxide administered by IV? It's okay to ask. You know, it's good to ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. I mean, I had 3 nurses and 2 doctors attending to me. That's how they like wanted to stay busy. You could tell there's nobody there, and this is like a huge hospital. Huge hospital. So let's continue. Tetrasilver tetroxide appears to stimulate the normal breast cells and allows them to replace the anaphasic cells in the breast carcinoma. Carcinoma. I know that word. So I'm trying. What does that even mean? So it appears to stimulate. So it stimulates the normal cells and has them replaced. This probably means, you know, like an affected cell. Like, you know, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I know how to do my research, and I'm assuming that this would be an affected cell. In the breast carcinoma, that would be in the cancer. That would be the cancer, I believe. And then tetrasilver tetroxide appears to cure infiltrative breast carcinoma in a 24-day period. So I just want to make sure that I'm pretty sure I know what it means. But I'm pretty sure it's basically just like the cancer, but just to be sure. Let's, I don't want to leave anything to breast carcinoma. It's breast cancer, yeah. It's just another, it's the scientific way of saying breast cancer. That's all. Yeah, see. Breast cancer most often begins with cells in the milk-producing ducts, invasive ductal carcinoma. It means cancer. That's what I thought. I just want to be totally, transparent and just everything out there. So let's read that again with that in mind. Tetrasilver tetroxide appears to cure infiltrative breast cancer in a 24-day period. Then why are football teams still wearing their friggin' pink stupid day? Now, don't get me wrong. I love the gesture. I think it's just lame. You know what I mean? I mean, breast cancer awareness. We are all aware of breast cancer, and some people get mad at me for saying that, but I just think it's when I watch a football game, I just want to enjoy the game. Especially now that we don't even have sports, they took that away. I mean, they can have the games. I mean, UFC proved that. UFC proved you can do that, and they're friggin' fighting to the death. You know what I mean? Like baseball, you're talking about social distancing. They're like 50 feet away from each other, more. I mean, it's crazy. It's just unbelievable. You could just test everybody. It's not. They have the quick tests. You can just do a quick test on everybody. And anyways, they're all like young men in great shape. And like I said, I have someone in the family, 90-year-old, beat it like nothing. So now I do know that, it's not just a media created thing. I mean, it's actually out there. Now, yeah, somebody could definitely say, oh, well, no, that's only because, the tests are there's something with the tests. I don't know. Someone could say that. I don't think so. I think, and he's in a nursing home, so it makes sense. It makes sense. It seems like that's where they get it, and it's now been proven. And we can go into that as well. All these Democratic governors, Democratic states, all blue states, putting people into nursing homes that don't have the capacity to quarantine and handle the patient. Even if there's things like even if you don't change your gloves, you touch something, and then all of a sudden you spread it to everybody in the nursing home, which has happened time and time and time again. One of the worst cases of it. Actually, that was one of the first when it first started spreading. That's what happened, right, in Washington. And one of the worst ones that happened was in my hometown. And it's a place that was very close to where I grew up and near and dear to me, just because I have so many memories right at that area. And it's of course it's a low income type of nursing home, and they got nailed. And so those are the places that got it. And he's in a very nice one. I thought he was safe there, but it's these nursing homes. I just don't. I'm very skeptical. I'm worried because they know that the population is waking up to it. Well, what happens all of a sudden? We go from stay in to get out there and and practice your First Amendment. It's just ridiculous. I mean, people are just sheep. I'm sorry. people are sheep. But I do support what they're doing in Oklahoma. It's not so much that I think that the people getting together, there will be an increase, obviously. Now they're like, now that's what they're saying now. There's increases, and I was hearing it in my area. People were telling me, oh, there's a huge increase. It's starting to go way up. And I go to the hospital, and no one's there. So I don't know. Dude, I just know that anything I see on the media is not true. Which is why I need to, now that I'm live again, I don't want to screw it up. And I've already said a few words I shouldn't have. But, I'm not the type to censor myself. You guys know this. I don't like that. Anyways. So cure infiltrative breast cancer. Okay? In a 24-day period. Tetrasilver Tetroxide appears to cure. And did you see what we just read? Where does it start? In the milk ducts, the milk producing ducts in the breast. Well, you wanna hit it where it begins, right? That'd be the idea. Tetrasilver Tetroxide appears, and you can tell this is like a legit study because they're not trying to push it. They say with everything they say appears. They don't make it 100% definitive. Any scientist, that's the way they speak. If it's not like 100%, there's no way you can dispute it. Like the only thing that they'll say about Tetrasilver Tetroxide as far as definitive is that it will kill all the HIV. There's no debate about that. It'll kill them all. It's just the side effects that they eventually, people like Fauci have their patents. And, they wanted their medicine that involves their patents to be the, some cocktail and then Big Pharma makes out as well. And so does the people who have the patents. Whereas the people who have these patents are a totally different group of people. And this didn't catch. Well, I'm hoping that the accused promise that some cures are going to start coming out. And I think they've already started with this hydroxychloroquine, something extremely cheap, something that Big Pharma does not want people to, use. They've already proven that with their fake studies. They basically, at a VA, they just kept track and tried to use it on some patients that were already literally about to die. And then they used those numbers as a study when it was never a study in the first place. They just kept track and tried to save them in their dying days. You can't just take it when you're already about to die. You need to take it before that, way before that. No, wait, you just need to take it. You can't take it in your last days, basically. Ideally, you could even take it preventative. And that's why Trump says these things. He's like, I'm taking it. I heard it might have some preventative properties. That is him telling us. Now, am I taking it? No. But because I'm not even worried about it. But if I was older, if I had, certain medical problems, yeah, I'd be taking it. And by the way, it's not the hydroxychloroquine that helps you. It's the zinc. The hydroxychloroquine just pushes the zinc into the cell. It gives it that shove it needs to really get in there and push out whatever this man-made virus is. Okay, because it is man-made. They test these things on poor prisoners in other countries, poor people in Africa. If they die, that's the bioweapon. If they live, that's the patent they're going to make for a treatment. It's sad but true. So, like we were talking about with the milk ducts, we have the secure ductile carcinoma, special type, medullary breast carcinoma, and a 30-day period. So cure the ductile, which is where it starts. The ductile carcinoma, that's where the breast cancer starts. So special type, and medullary breast carcinoma in a 30-day period. I mean, we're talking about cures of breast cancer and HIV and AIDS. I mean, we're talking AIDS, not even HIV. We're talking like you've already gone through HIV, you're in the AIDS stage, like you're on your way out, and Tetrasilver Tetroxide has been proven to be able to kill it. And they're in a period, it's called like the wasting syndrome or something like that, when like they're wasting away, I guess. Tetrasilver tetroxide appears to cure infiltrative lobular breast cancer in a 30 days period. I mean, let's see what that is. Because I don't know what it is. So this might be like a different type. It's a type of, it's a different, that begins in the milk producing glands of the breast. That's what we're talking about, right? Invasive cancer means the cancer cells are broken out of the lobule where they began and have potentially spread to the lymph nodes and other areas of the body. And that's what it's all about. It starts there, it spreads, and then it starts spreading to it's the lymph nodes, and then all of a sudden it's popping up in other places. A lot of times when you have cancer, I mean, as we all know, especially if you don't catch it early. I mean, my mother went through not exactly breast cancer, but 2 different types at once. And she beat it, and she's alive and doing great. It's all about catching it early. But with treatments like this, I mean, think of the promise. Think of just all the people that have been affected. I mean, I think it's just all the family members I have, all the friends, all the young. I mean, we're just talking breast cancer. I mean, who knows what it would do with all these other types of cancers? But they definitely did a test on the breast cancer. I don't see why it would only. I'm not a what are they called that just do the cancer? I'm not even they just do cancer. Those doctors. I'm not one of those, but I don't know. Common sense tells me if it can cure breast cancer, it might be worth a try in other types. I guess it would be a little bit more invasive, but this is all through IV. So, you would think it would just go wherever the cancer is. I mean, I doubt that they put it into a vein that's in the breast. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it just goes into the bloodstream, and it'll make its way. And when it comes across these cells that are anaphasic, as we see in number 3 here. Oh man, I messed that up. Why is this acting weird? This is acting up on me. And number 3 here, and the anaphasic cells, that I believe that those are the ones that are affected, and I'm just figuring out as I go. I mean, you would think that, let's say it's something else, it'll come across those ones and do the same thing.
I was right.
And what it does is it fires electrons. It's like a electric reaction. It's pretty amazing. And also, they just found out, just for you nerds that love like the quantum mechanics stuff, when we talk about D-wave and quantum computers, they found out that instead of magnetic resonance, electric resonance is way more sufficient. And of course, they came out with that news at the peak of coronavirus, so nobody hears about it. And I think that they found that out way longer. They said they just found out. I think they've known this. Because, I mean, we're talking, that affects national security. I mean, just my understanding, which is, it is so important, these quantum computers. I mean, they could phase out cryptology once you reach a certain number of qubits. And I'm pretty sure they've reached that number. They say they're at the 5,000 model. I think they're 2 models past that. I'm thinking like 20,000 model. All right, so the next would be 10,000 and 20,000. It just keeps exponentially going. That's just another amazing subject I would talk about. But anyways, they found out that electric resonance. And also, the guy who first woke me up when I first started watching YouTube channels, and my first time ever on YouTube was on Richie from Boston. And I told him, he said, did you find watching me? And I don't want to lie, he was one of the first, but he wasn't the first. But I was watching Anthony Patch. Then Anthony Patch paired up with Richie from Boston, and then I started watching Richie from Boston. He covered, we were talking about earlier, the Godhead tunnel ceremony, where all the leaders of the world were there, and they were doing it wasn't even hiding how satanic this was. And it was an old story about a goat, and it had a lot of history. With there was like a mountain, because the Alps, the Swiss Alps, so they put it through, and it's a tunnel into France, and it's right by CERN. So there's a CERN connection as well. And CERN was a big part of this. A lot of you guys know about it, the Godhead Tunnel. We can look at it if you want afterwards. We'll finish this first. Okay, so although certain patients develop mild cases of, here's that again. We know what that is now. Enlarged liver, the hepatology. It's an enlarged liver, although you keep your liver function. The liver functioning was not, as we already knew that, as evidenced by the normal levels of liver function enzymes in the bloodstream. So basically, your liver gets enlarged, but the functions are still normal. And your cancer's gone. Your AIDS is gone. Why the fuck aren't they using this type of technology? They knew this back in the 90s. Just pisses me off thinking of all the people who've died. Being inspected after 3 weeks or more had elapsed, and compared with similar humans that had been given placebos, were completely cured of AIDS. Let's see where it continued. The control group still manifested AIDS. Well, the control group is that the placebo group. Accordingly, the Tetrasilver Tetroxide device performed in concert with and in full conformity with the ultimate objection of this invention. Furthermore, 3 out of 4 see the wasting syndrome? This is what I was talking about. So they're like, it's not HIV. These are people with AIDS on their way out. And they were able to cure them at that level, at that stage. If they could do it at that stage, imagine what they could do at a way earlier stage. I mean, nowadays they're pretty good at catching it. I mean, they were saying that HIV was going to be eradicated in 10 years. They said that about 5 years ago. I don't think they're going to meet that goal. Because of a little bit of a comeback with all the IV drug use. So let's see, this is something like kind of near and dear to me. I've shared with you guys. In 2007, I was told by a crooked doctor who ended up in jail for insurance fraud out of Brookline, Massachusetts. And I don't give a fuck. Doctor, look him up. Dr. Kishore, 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 out of Brookline. He told me I had HIV, and I'll never forget it. 7707, July 7th, 2007. And every July 7th, I think about it, and it fucking pisses me off. And I thought I had it I was told I definitely didn't have it, like 6 to 9 months after. But you don't believe it. You think it's just dormant. You know what I mean? So I really thought I had it for a few years. I had just gone back from the military. I mean, it screwed up my life. I don't like blaming things like, oh, it screwed up my life. But it did. It affected things. That's all of a sudden when I got in a little bit of trouble with the law. You stop giving a fuck. But I didn't have sex with anybody. I didn't do, I just could never do that. I mean, people just do, but I didn't have sex for that whole time. And we're talking about a young, 23-year-old man not having sex for about 18 months. Even though, they told me like 6 to 9 months that I didn't. It was a specialist. He said 99.99%. But I still believed it. It's crazy. Meanwhile, there's things like this. So that is definitely something to look into further. Because it's just... They have let's see. So wasting syndrome. Look at the ages. Look how young some of these people are. Most of them are younger than me. Look how young they are. See, I don't know if I can make sense of this. Oh. So these are the ones who died. Wait. Look at their weight. That's their weight over there, right on the right. The 82 and 76. IF. INF. What does that mean? INF. Are those the different? I don't know. It almost seems like cool. One of them
focus group
is negative though. Is that negative?
I think.
H negative. Let's see. I don't understand that one. Pain. TF. Other symptoms. I don't understand this enough. I'm not gonna even try. Before an audit and GLP standards. Application for repeat preclinical trial on animals and clinical trial on a patient of the drug Tetrasilver as described in the conducted clinical trial described in patent number, and that's the one 5676977. And also there's a new patent number, by the way, I looked up, because that patent number, it ended in 2014. It says something about like unpaid fees. Like the fees stopped getting paid. Well, that's because they switched it and it has a totally different patent. And I think there's a reason they did that. I think too many people had caught on. Not a lot of people, but enough that they were worried and they switched it. Well, I found the new patent number, and it's the same exact verbiage. It's the same. Everything's the same. So it's kind of shady how that happened. So, so you see that maybe this is why. So, United States methods of using electron active compounds for managing cancer, method curing AIDS with Tetrasilver, Tetroxide molecular crystal devices, molecular crystal device for pharmaceuticals, a pharmacological and toxicological profile of silver as an antimicrobial agent in medical devices. List of text from the above mentioned documents. Oh, and then I read all this. We went over this, but by the way, this is the inventor. He deserves to be recognized. Dr. Marvin S. Antleman out of Rehoboth, Illinois.
Sounds like that stuff's good.
And it looks like he worked with somebody. That's his company. Oh, yeah, so this is the company that I was looking into. It didn't lead anywhere because it's basically the same information. It's the same guy. But then he has this one as well, Antleman Technologies. Oh, that's not it. The new patent number, I think I know it by heart. I did at least 614 / I did know it by heart before. Let's see. So I don't know if there's anything else worth. All right, so here's you can kind of see. And, you can see it, this stuff doesn't come out of nowhere. So it started off with someone named Weiser who had and this is just who has the patent. I've learned now, looking into Fauci and Redfield, that the guy with the patent isn't always, the hero. That might just be the guy who stole it or, is the head and he says, all right, yep, well, I paid for it, so move aside, doc. I'm getting that patent. They have them shut down their study and pretend that they failed, and they take it and make it their own. That's something that what's his name, Fauci, is famous for. Have you guys seen what he said lately? Now he's saying, I only told people that they shouldn't wear masks at the beginning because we needed them for the doctors. Now, we heard this in other places. I mean, if you tried to buy them on Amazon, you couldn't buy them. Now, if you were watching my channel, you would have known back in mid-January to get your N95 masks. I was reporting on it in mid-January, way before. There was you could buy thousands on the cheap, on the real cheap, and people did, and assholes, then sold them for 100 times the price. Like the country of China, they bought up a bunch. That's really what China did. They bought up all the medical equipment. They knew what was coming to the world. Listen, guys. There is a lot of chatter. I'm worried about what's going on in the Pacific. That's all I'm going to say right now, because I'm going to do a full video on it. But a lot of chatter about things going on. So anyways, I just want to give, Fox Jr., who knows? They might have stole from somebody, but, we'll give them. So is the AIDS virus science fiction? What? I don't know about that. What's that? Claims. A method of treating AIDS afflicted humans, and we also know breast cancer as well. compromising injecting MO2, the Tetrasilver Tetroxide molecular crystals into the bloodstream of the human subject. I think we get it, right? I think we get it. Background, like I said, the molecular structure is 4 argon, 4 um and it's funny because like I remember everybody like looking at the molecular structure of the virus right now. This molecular structure is pretty interesting. Let's check it out. And then we're gonna get into the summer solstice, which is friggin' crazy, crazy. Tomorrow is I would say the most satanic day since 2001. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you why. And what happened in 2001? That was a crazy year, right? What's been the craziest year since 2001? Yeah, 2020. I would say 2020 got 2001 beat. Tetrasilver. It's just a different way. That was like shock. But this has just been like, I mean, just bomb story after bomb story. Yet the biggest story hasn't even dropped yet. So this is the craziest year. I mean, no matter how old you, unless you were around for World War II, Tetrasilver, and we're not done. So, this is different than what I saw before. That is weird. Wait.
Oh,
I gotta see when they have to connect them.
You know what? I'll show you quickly a tweet, because this is about to end. So I'll show you my latest tweet.
There's one that's very interesting. I'm not seeing the one I want to see, unfortunately. Textra. You know what? I suck. I should be checking on the chat more. How you guys doing? Oh, trust me too. I really do. Because the other option is this. If Q is not legit, it's not like some fake guy in a basement. I can promise you that. It would be artificial intelligence. It could even be artificial intelligence combined with something like a D-Wave. And D-Wave, just that technology, the fact that it exists.
Alright, so now proves. So, okay, from that point forward, I talk about that for like 1 minute, and then I get into the solstice and all the coincidences. It's like nothing happened in the solstice that we know about, like I said in this, if you guys watch that whole stream, they'll be, they'll have their, their little get-togethers and all these. I showed all the different cities, but the real satanic high priestesses will be doing their thing in the certain temples, like in Eastern Europe, and even Western Europe, with the Nazis, who, you know, were totally into the occult. They didn't have any of the occult, especially the SS. The SS, they were like soldiers of the demon, like like demon soldiers, and they say that they were maybe man for man the best soldiers on earth ever to walk the earth. I mean, yeah, they're Nazis. What's going on? Oh, something may just happened with YouTube. YouTube, you guys still there? They know what I'm gonna show you. Yeah, they're messing with it. Hope you guys can see this. By the way, guys, before you watch the next show, you gotta watch. First of all, I read this after watching the video, the end of the video that we just showed the sample of, the QD code. You gotta watch that. And then my pinned post, I believe it's pinned. If not, I'll show you. Well, I just showed it to you, but yeah, the pinned post, you gotta check that out. Anyway, so look at this. Another Jussie Smollett. Since when did men becoming the victims become such an attractive idea to want so bad that you're willing to fake it and risk being exposed to the truth? You're brainwashed in your safe bubbles. Go to the inner city and ask them. And, you know, when I say ask them, I mean, like, you know, if like, you know, like, listen, I bet you I could get down there and get their honest opinion. You know, going to the inner city, where they haven't gentrified it yet, and, you know, like a hood, and just really ask them, is this all BS or not? They'll all start laughing and talking about how BS it is. They know. They're just taking advantage of it. And most of them aren't even involved with it. They hate Black Lives Matter. They know it's all politics. They don't care about that shit. So, you know, that's why I put go into the inner city and ask them, BS or not, 100. And I tagged Donald Trump, you know, just, you know, if, you know, maybe it would reach him, but of course it probably didn't. Everybody's writing to Trump. And this is from this post, Stonewall Jackson. Do you think Bubba Wallace will issue an apology? Well, couldn't go showing the connections
All charges, by the way, were dropped by someone called Kim Fox. Okay? Now, Kim Fox, she was contacted by the Asian woman in the top right. Kim Fox is the bottom right. She's the one who dismissed all charges as a, U.S. attorney. T. Chen in the top right, Asian woman, she's the one who told her to do that because Michelle Obama had her as her former chief of staff. So that's how politicians do it. Basically, Michelle Obama made sure those charges were dropped. It would be a lot different if we had to watch him do the perp walk and actually do some time. Which anyone else who pulled off a stunt like that affected the whole country and caused all kinds of, well, I'm not going to say racial divide, because every black person I knew, I mean, that was like the joke of the day for them. They all knew it was bullshit. So, okay. So, I will be live with the QD codes and anything else that comes up. There was one other thing I was thinking about, but this is a red pill dispensary. And this is a red pill. So,